Ringo TV Reactions, back at you again with another one. Make sure you rate, comment, and subscribe. What I want to talk about is this particular video real quick. Kind of seeing it in my feeds, and I was like, let me do a reaction to this real quick. It shows a few different things, and I want to see what is your thoughts about this, right? So what exactly is going on? Well, it seemed to be some sort of disturbance, some sort of issue. The police came to pretty much resolve the situation. This is in probably look like the black community. See a lot of black folks walking around. You see a woman in what appears to be a robe. So you know when you see black women come outside in a robe, it is the black community, right? So now you have a situation where a black guy, you know what? Let me just let it play. Let me just let it play. Let you see exactly what's going on. And I want you to point out what you notice. Let's play a little game. Let's go.
Hey, put that shit down. Ooh. Fuck wrong with you? Put that shit down. The fuck with you? The fuck with you? That is the dumbest shit you could have ever did. Turn around. That's about be behind. Why would you do that? No, I was gonna put it right here. But why would you do that? I wasn't gonna shoot. You almost made me have to do something to you. Why would you do that? Shoot. I was gonna put it right here. But why would you do that? That makes no sense. All right, but I was gonna just put it right here. But that makes no sense. All right. You got police standing here trying to resolve the issue, and then you're gonna pull a pistol?
You understand that's a felony in itself in the presence of a police officer.
Why would you do that?
There you go. Forever Studios got the answer already. There you go. Now, let's talk about this because it's crazy. The cop actually saved his life, believe it or not. The cop saved his life. Forever Studios was listening carefully, which is something a lot of people don't do when they watch videos. You're watching, but you're not listening. Forever Studios was listening and watching. And what he heard was someone in the background said, light him up. And that just goes to show how the black community have no love for itself. They wanted the cops to kill him. Now, of course, the guy made a dumb decision. You know, he made a dumb decision. He's most likely in a state where you can have a gun. The problem is he probably left his gun in the car and realized that and said, let me go get my gun to put it on my waist. But that's dumb if you have a bunch of cops around and they're trying to resolve an issue. Very dumb. If anything, just leave it in the car or just let an officer know, hey, I would like to go get my pistol. It's in the car. I want to put it on my waist or whatever the case is, or just leave it alone. Or just let the officers know that your gun is in the car or whatever the case is, you know, because you don't want to leave it there, obviously for safety reasons. It would have been best to just let the officer know, hey, I have, you know, license to carry X, Y, and Z, boom, boom, boom. I got my gun in the car. I forgot it when I got out, and I don't want to leave it there in this neighborhood. I don't want nobody to get hurt. So could you, you could go to the car and you can retrieve the gun, you know, just for your safety, my safety. You know, you could be on that type of frequency. But no, he didn't do that. So he goes and walks to the car and take out the gun. Now, the black cop have great situational awareness because all the other cops had no clue what was going on. Now, if the black man had intent to kill, he would have shot the officer, the white lady that's there. The white officer would have got clapped. Maybe the black woman in the robe, somebody would have got killed if his intent was to kill. Now, I don't think that the black man had any intent to kill anybody. I think he's just dumb. You know what I mean? Just one of them dumb decisions that ninjas make. You know what I mean? And he probably, this is first time owning a gun. He don't know what he's doing. He don't have no understanding or even recognize that you're in front of a bunch of cops. They're on edge. They're in the black community. They're on edge. Their job is to watch what's going on. Good thing the black cop have good situational awareness of the streets, and he saw that gun from a far away. But now we're going to play it again, and I want you to listen to the background, right? Turn off the music. Go and listen to the background. Listen to, you hear a woman literally said to light his ASS up. And I'm trying to figure out, like, damn, y'all just want him to die? And then we go and cry and say, oh, the cops killed him. And y'all be wondering, when black people get killed, y'all be wondering, like, oh, it's these cops that be, no, it be the community. The community be the ones that be like, yo, kill him, light him up. Because they get pleasure out of that type of stuff. Let's go.
Hey, put that shit down. Ooh, fuck wrong with you? Put that shit down. The fuck wrong with you?
You heard that? She said, light his ass up. Listen.
Down. Ooh, fuck wrong with you? Put that shit down. The fuck with you? The fuck is wrong with you? That is the dumbest shit you could have ever did.
The other cop, the cop that's putting cups on him, he said that's for being an ass, because the black cop had every right to blast him at that point. Once you reach in a car, right? All you young brothers, and even you old heads, when you see a bunch of cops standing around and you reach in your car and you pull out a gun, they can blast your ass right there immediately. Because what are you reaching for a gun for? You're not writing with a pen. There's no reason to be reaching in your car to get a gun. So the black cop could have opened fire and ended his life. So not only do he got good situational awareness, but damn, he's not trigger happy. He looked at the circumstances and probably realized this brother's just dumb. You know what I mean? He had to scold him a little bit with some profanities. And I don't know the full extent of the story. I don't know if they're going to, give him a charge for felony. They might just, put the cuffs on him, take him in, give him a good heavy talk and whatnot. But if they brought charges on him, that's on him, man, because at the end of the day, he made a dumb decision. I don't think his intent was to do anything, because there was a dispute. He probably just left his gun in the car. It's just crazy, man. Like, why would you be so damn dumb to go? Yo, don't y'all understand laws, man? When cops see you with a gun in your hand, it's one thing if you have open carry and it's like, okay, they got to respect that. But when you reach in your car and you pull a gun, he had the gun in his hand. They could have lit him up. But the black cop had mercy. He probably looked at it. I don't know what was the process in his mind, but he probably was processing the whole thing real quick and probably was like, let me not shoot. I don't think this dude know what he's doing, man. And they just kind of took care of it peacefully. But I can guarantee you, if it was any of those other cops, the white cops, they would have shot his ass, bro. I'm just keeping it a buck. No cap. If those white cops would have saw him reach in that car and they saw that gun, they would have blasted his ass. There would have been no talking. It would have been that simple. He would have been dead. So I think the black cop probably was raised probably in that community. Maybe he not, maybe not that community, but he most likely was in the streets and is familiar with the community. And, they probably know him, or maybe he know that guy. I don't know the situation. I don't got the full scoop. I just saw this thing in the feeds and I said, oh, snap. This is crazy. Let me do a quick video on this. But his life was spared. His life was definitely spared.
Why would you do that? Now I was gonna put it right here. But why would you do that?
He said I was gonna put it right here. I was gonna put it right on my side. Dummy, why would you want to put it on your side for? Let the officer know. Be like, yo, officer, I got my gun in the car. You know what I'm saying? I'm legal. Everything is good. I just want to go get my gun. Is it safe to do that, or should I wait? You know what I mean? Man, I don't understand. I want to go in the car and reach for it. Next minute there's a problem. I get in trouble, whatever the case is. He didn't even do that. He just go in the car and reach for the gun. Like it's all good. And cops are just going to be like, oh, he's just a good Samaritan. They don't know what you're doing. You could be a perp. You could be somebody that's trying to retaliate, want to kill somebody.
I wasn't gonna shoot. You almost made me have to do something to you. Why would you do that? Shoot. I was gonna put it right here. Why would you do that?
And I can guarantee you the black cop heart is pounding right now because he could have shot him. He could have killed him. That was grounds to use deadly force, man. Once you pick up that gun and you walked out that car and you turn walking towards the cops, deadly force, man, they're gonna take your ass out, bro. So that man had an angel watching over him and made that black cop notice that gun, because if those white cops would have saw that, I guarantee you they would have killed him. His life would have been over. And again, he made a dumb decision, man.
It makes no sense. All right. I was going to just put it right here. But that makes no sense. All right. You got police standing here trying to resolve the issue, and then you're going to pull a pistol?
You understand that's a felony in itself in the presence of a police officer.
He said that's a felony in and of itself in the presence of police officers. In other words, you just going in the car while they're trying to resolve an issue and you reach in for a gun. The cop said that's a felony just in the presence of an officer. Now, I don't know if he's going to get charged. I don't know. Maybe they might have just put the cuffs on him, you know, teach him a little lesson. You know, maybe they had let him go. I don't know the full story. I'm going to try to see if I can find the full video. If anybody got the full video, just send it to my Instagram. But I hope they don't charge him. But the sad thing about this that I want to get to for the community to kind of learn from is the fact that a black woman in the background said to light his ass up. Which means there was a black woman in the background that basically wanted the cop to kill him. And that's the part that is sick to me about the black community. It's one thing if he made a bad mistake, but is it worth dying for? Is it worth dying if he made a mistake? Some people make mistakes. You got people that, you know, they have legal right to carry guns and they don't even know what they're doing with their gun. And they end up getting in trouble because they don't understand the laws. But is it worth killing him because he made a mistake? He recognized his error while the cop is arresting him or, you know, detaining him, putting the cuffs on him. He recognized he did something wrong, you know. Because that's their job, is to educate you once they put the cuffs on you. But is it worth killing them? Because when we see cops kill black men, we normally cry foul play. Oh, we pull the race card. We say, oh, they killed him because he's black, blah, blah, blah. But in this case, a black woman in the background basically said to light his ass up with no concern for life. Listen to it again. I'm gonna leave it with all the explicit so it could just go and rock.
Hey, put that shit down. Ooh, fuck wrong with you? Put that shit down. The fuck wrong with you?
Listen.
You.
Wow.
The fuck is wrong with you? That is the dumbest shit you could have ever did.
Turn around. What's about be behind?
Why would you do that?
Another cop said that's the dumbest ish I have ever seen.
Now I was gonna put it right here. But why would you do that? I wasn't gonna shoot. You almost made me have to do something to you. Why would you do that? I was gonna put it right here. Why would you do that? That makes no sense. All right. I was gonna just put it right here. But that makes no sense.
I ain't going nowhere near no gun if I know my gun is in the car and the cops is there. I'm leaving that in the car. I'm not even gonna mention nothing. I'm just gonna leave it alone because they don't even belong in my car. They don't know about my gun. It's staying right in the car. It's just that simple. Let's go.
Right. You got police standing here trying to resolve the issue, and then you're gonna pull a pistol?
You understand that's a felony in itself in the presence of a police officer.
Why would you do that?
I'm gonna find that clip because I know there's a full clip of this somewhere. I just want to know if he really got charged and whatnot. But the sad thing that I want to focus on, like I said, is the fact that a woman in the background said light his ass up. And I was like, damn, that's sick as hell, man. And what was crazy is where the video was originally posted, people were laughing in the comments. They were giggling. And I understand it sounds crazy and whatnot. And it's kind of stupid that the dude did this. But for the woman in the background to say to kill him, that's sick. To shoot him, like that's crazy. And it just goes to show that in the black community, there's no real love, man. There's no love in the community, man, when you want a black man to pretty much die over a mistake. You know, yeah, it's dumb. I get it. But is it worth dying? Is it worth dying, man? Should we light you up because of that? It's like there's no love and no respect for life in the black community, man. Because if the cop would have opened fire, there's a lot of people there. He got to look at his background, you know? But I'm telling you, the cop is sharp. Shout out to the cop. The cop is sharp. He's a good cop because he had mercy. He could have killed him. You know, all the other cops, they had no clue. They could have lost their life. And that's why it's so dangerous to reach in your car. So the moral of the story is this. If there's a dispute, issues going on, a bunch of cops is out, you know your gun is in your car, and you know it is what it is, leave it in the car. Don't go in your car and touch your gun. Nobody knows about your gun. Just leave it there. You know, your car is there. Just lock your door. You know what I mean? And leave your gun there. You don't got to act like a big po, like, yeah, I got my gun, you know, open carry, you know what I mean? I'm looking like a big shot with the big boys with the guns. And no, leave it in the car. Leave it in the car because, first of all, I don't want the cops in my car, right? Even though in the beginning I said it's okay for you to just let the cops know what's going on. But to be honest, I don't want them in my car anyway, right? I don't want them in my business. They don't need to know about my gun. They don't need to know nothing. Just leave it in the car. But once you reach in and you pull that gun out, it's on sight. They have every right to blast your ass. You know, it could have ended deadly. And it would have been another funeral, another GoFundMe, another family crying. And then there would have been protests. And they would have been like, oh, the police is racist. The police killed a black man. They can't believe it. The outrage in the black community, selective outrage. I know how it go. But the disturbing thing was a woman in the background said to light his ass up. That's sick. Absolutely sick, man. Can't believe that. Because when I first heard the video, I thought it was like, am I hearing something? No, I wasn't hearing nothing. Somebody said light his ass up. And everybody was pretty much in agreement with it. And I'm like, damn, y'all don't know the dude? He probably lived in the neighborhood. It probably was a fender bender. It probably was some sort of issue with a vehicle. For whatever the case is, you know? Like I said, I'm going to find the story. I'm going to see what's going on with this and hopefully do another reaction to this because I want to find out, did he really get arrested? Did he get charged with anything? Because I'm hoping that he didn't, if it was a mistake. You know what I mean? The cops are going to still put you in them cuffs. They're going to still put you in the cuffs and educate you about what you did. If they want, they could charge you. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, if they're cool, they might just let you go, might bring you to the precinct, whatever the case is, make a report or whatever, and they might let you slide. Hopefully they did that. Hopefully the guy learned his lesson, never to do that again. That was dumb as hell, man. You could have lost your life, bro. You could have lost your life quick. Shout out to Forever Studios for pointing it out. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to see who's going to point it out first. And what that also teach, ladies and gentlemen, is another lesson. When you're watching videos, it's one thing to watch the video. It's another thing to listen carefully on what's being said. You know, a lot of times I'll do a video and I'm talking, but people are not listening. They're just watching the video, kind of hearing, but they're not listening critically to what's being said so they can understand what's going on. Because when we play this video and you hear the background noise, it's a lot of distractions. But Forever Studios was able to hear the woman say to light his ass up, which is sick. And if the cop would have did it, then now there would have been all this protesting, Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, Crump, and a bunch of damn content creators talking ish about brutality and racism and all this other stuff, when clearly it was a mistake and clearly the woman was instigating violence on another black man. Absolutely sick, guys. So, hey, we're going to get up on out of here, man. Y'all take care. Have a blessed day. You know, drive safe and, you know, take care. I'll be back later on with more content. Got to take care of some business. It is what it is. So shout out to everybody in the chat. See Floridine Rollo. See Forever Studios. Salute to everybody in the building, man. Appreciate y'all stopping by to the channel, man. You know, you have a great day. See Marilyn, Eddie Can Man, right? Let me see, got Southern Girl, DJ Man 38, CJ. Who else we got? We got Tanya, Dolomite. What's going on? Freedom and Rights. Val Hawkins, salute to you. Let me see who else we got in here. I probably skipped over some people, right? Got Beverly, J Rip. What's going on? Did I say Southern Girl? I'm not sure if I did. Let's see who else we got. Got Caramel, Kimmy Kim. Got V-Dub Man in the building. What's going on? Martin Show. What's going on? Big T NYC. Yeah, so we're going to get up on out of here, man. Shout out to SW247. So we're going to get up on out of here, man. Even if I forgot anybody's name, man, it is not my fault, man. You know, it is what it is. I'm trying to read out everybody's name. But y'all take care, man. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'm out of here, man. Take care. Ringo TV Reactions. Rate, comment, and subscribe. Be back later on. Peace.
If you like our content, consider supporting via Cash App at $Ringo TV Raw. Become a patron on patreon.com for exclusive video content not shown on YouTube. You could also support through PayPal at paypal.me/Ringo TV Raw. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the bell to be notified of new content. Follow me on Instagram at Ringo TV Raw.
This is Ringo TV Reactions, the only channel on YouTube bringing you the truth 100% raw and uncut. I'm out. Peace.